Hi everyone, Poetry Thursday, and here's Dr. Jennie with some Thursday poetry.
Okay. Hello everybody, and a Happy New Year. I'm dedicating today's poem to Gareth at Books, Songs and Other Magic, for reasons that will be explained afterwards. And because it's the new year, I'm reading Tennyson's poem, Ring Out Wild Bells. Ring out wild bells to the wild sky, the flying cloud, the frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out wild bells and let him die. Ring out the old, ring in the new. Ring happy bells across the snow. The year is going, let him go. Ring out the false, ring in the true. Ring out the grief that saps the mind for those that here we see no more. Ring out the feud of rich and poor. Ring in redress to all mankind. Ring out a slowly dying cause and ancient forms of party strife. Ring in the nobler modes of life with sweeter manners, purer laws. Ring out the want, the care, the sin, the faithless coldness of the times. Ring out my mournful rhymes, but ring the fuller minstrel in. Ring out false pride in place and blood, the civic slander and the spite. Ring in the love of truth and right, ring in the common love of good. Ring out old shapes of foul disease, ring out the narrowing lust of gold. Ring out the 1,000 wars of old, ring in the 1,000 years of peace. Ring in the valiant man and free, the larger heart, the kindlier hand. Ring out the darkness of the land, ring in the Christ that is to be. Thank you very much.
Right then, so it's Tennyson.
It's Tennyson.
Who? Victorian, big beard, floppy hat.
Very popular.
And he was like a national poet. And
Yeah.
I guess back in the days when people learned lots of poems,
Yeah.
they would probably be learning a lot of Tennyson.
Yeah. Because there's, when you start to Wikipedia it, you find out all sorts of poems that you sort of vaguely know that he's responsible for. Like Crossing the Bar, which I originally knew as a song. A musician called Rani Arbo. I'd set it to music, and I've got a CD by a band called Daisy Mayhem, and they with her, Rani Arbo, and they do a version of it. I might read that one day. But yeah, Lady Shalott, all that kind of stuff. There's loads of Tennyson you sort of half think of.
But some of it seems quite modern, at least in the themes.
Yeah, the themes of this, it makes me, my primary feeling after reading this is utter sadness and despair. Because I don't know what year this was written in, but it was 19th century.
About 1850, I think.
So that's part of getting on for 175 years.
Yeah.
And nothing's changed.
So we've still got foul disease, lust of gold, wars.
Ancient forms of party strife. Grief that saps the mind. False pride in place and blood. That's the one that... Jesus, that's kind of sorry.
Quite in at the moment.
Yeah. Civic slander, spite.
So although it's part of a bigger cycle called In Memoriam, and it's specifically an elegy for a dead person, it covers quite a lot of ground beyond personal individual grief, widening out into these more sort of social,
universal
political,
things,
universal concerns.
Yeah.
Yes. And it works as a new year.
And it works as a new year
Because
poem,
we always hope.
Absolutely, you have to
ring the things out and bring the better things in for
let's
1,000
be
years.
kindlier and valiant and larger hearted, and it's kind of a bit of a Scrooge moment poem. Like I propounded my theory.
I think you might have done both.
On Scrooge moments in an earlier video, which you could link to, about how the Scrooge moment is that moment when you think, oh yeah, everything I do needs to be better, but then you don't actually do anything about it. And this is a Scrooge moment poem. You read it and you think, oh, obviously we want to ring in the nobler modes of life with sweeter manners, purer laws. Who wouldn't? And then you don't do anything about it. And then you come to next New Year.
Not
well,
always.
No, not always, but...
Well, Scrooge does do something.
And Scrooge does, yes, absolutely.
I suppose. But then he's fictional, but apart from that... So how about that Gareth Howells then?
Yeah.
So Gareth, he's a good mate on here, and his channel Books, Songs and Other Magic is really good.
Yeah.
He's also a writer as well as a musician, and has written poetry as well as novels.
He multifaceted.
And so I think this is the second year he's given awards, which are his personal choice of best things on BookTube from the past year, which he's actually sort of taken over from Pax Panic, who's sadly no longer with us, which is why they're called Paxy Awards. And there was one for poetry, and it goes to Dr. Jennie. So Paxy Award winner. Forget your Golden Globes and all that nonsense.
It was just... Oh, thank you, mate.
Well, it's awesome that people
it's
are
just
listening.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's made me so happy.
There you go. Well, that's a good New Year thing.
That's a larger heart and
We're ringing in the new,
hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, folks. Well,
I was really, really very, very touched, and think that's absolutely lovely. And
good.
That's it for
Right.
today.
I think we're done.
Then. I think so.
So your fond farewells.
Fond farewells, everybody. Mind how you go. Keep out the Us Road. And thank your mother for the dripping. And I'll see you next week, all being well. I might have one of my own next week. Who can say?
Okay, bye.
Bye.